Good morning and welcome to Rahasar English classes. One thing is very important. We were reading lesson 1, that is Triumph of Surgery. Now I have 5 important questions that can be asked in the board examinations. One is, I will read out the questions and you may write it down accordingly as per the first question is, what was the condition of Tricky when the narrator saw him in the beginning of the story या in the beginning of the lesson? Question कहीं से भी आ सकता है. The answer is very simple. When the narrator saw Tricky in the beginning of the lesson, he was basically looking like a blotted sausage with legs at both ends. The second thing, his eyes were bloodshot and there were tears in it. Rumi कह सकते हैं आप. There were tears in his eyes and he looked straight and his tongues lolled out. Now, these are the condition of a sick animal. Not only sick animal, this is the condition of every human. Whenever you are sick, your eyes become red. He was overgrown, he was fat, and he was definitely something that looked more or less like a sick animal rather than a fit dog. Now, answer is very easy. His eyes were red, there were tears in it. He looked like a blotted sausage. He was overweight, he was slow, his tongues lolled out, there were tears in his eyes, and it was clearly visible that he was very sick, physically very sick. The second question is, was Tricky really sick? या ये क्वेश्चन इस तरह से भी आ सकता है कि what was the problem with Tricky? The answer is very simple. The Tricky's only problem was greed. He was a dog who can eat meals at any time of the day. Simple बात है. He was a dog who can handle meal any time of the day. The second thing was his owner, that is Mrs. Pampery. She was extra too much worried about the dog. She gave him cod liver oil, she gave him Horlicks, chocolates, cakes, biscuits, wine, eggs. Later on the lessons you can say. And now, finally what happened? This dog became oversized. She was actually, the problem was Mrs. Pampery. She pampered her dog. She took extra care of him, gave him more food than required, and the only problem was he was not getting any kind of exercises. He was only eating, sleeping, and that's why the fat in the body grew, and finally he became a sick dog. He ate much, he never took exercises, he just when you are answering the question, it's very easy over here. The only problem with Tricky was that greed. He ate too much and he was very greedy. He ate everything which Mrs. Pampery gave him: eggs, cod liver oil, chocolate, cakes, pastries, and wine, so all these things, and that's why he became a dog which was basically a sick dog because of the excess fat that was handled in him. Now, the third question, what was the treatment given to Tricky by the doctor or Mr. Harriet? What was the treatment given to Naturally, we all know there was no treatment given to Tricky. The answer is very simple. The only thing, the treatment that Mr. Harriet gave to Tricky was that, first of all, he never gave him anything for 3 days. He gave him only water. Now, this burnt the excess fat in the dog and he became active. Then he left him with the other pack of dogs which were in the hospital, and naturally he ran about with them, he played with them, ate a very limited diet as per the prescription of the doctor, like the other dogs. And the best thing which he was not getting was exercise. He was running around with the dogs, he was playing with the dogs, and in the night he used to hunt for rats, he used to play with them, he used to fight with them. Even for the food he fought with them, and whatever little he got, he just ate it. Gradually what happened, all his fat was burnt out, and finally he became a very fit and a healthy dog. एक और क्वेश्चन है जो पूछा जा सकता है, how did Mrs. Pamphary took care of Tricky when he was in the hospital? Now naturally everybody knows what happened. She used to call the doctor every day. First of all, she used to call the doctor every day, asking about whether they have changed their bed, the bed of Tricky, whether they have changed his coats, whether they have given him proper food. Then she started sending two dozens of egg every day to the hospital for Tricky. Then bottle of wine started arriving. Then brandy started arriving. Then what happened? All these things, they were basically sent for Tricky, but they were not consumed by Tricky. They were used by the doctors, by the staff of the hospital, and finally Mrs. Pamphary thought that she was sending things for her dog, and her dog is eating everything, but actually it was not happening. So the answer is very simple. She used to call the doctor, she used to send eggs every day, dozens of eggs, wine, brandy and other things, just to, in case that her dog should be eating all these things, but actually he was not getting anything. They were all eaten by the staff and the doctors of the hospital. The last question, what changes were seen in Tricky in the end of the lesson? Now remember, this is a very important question. The simple thing is, the narrator himself says that within 15 days of fighting with the dogs, playing with the dogs, running with the dogs, eating limited diets and burning the excess fat, he turned into a lithe, hard-muscled animal. This was the change. He turned into a lithe, hard-muscled animal, and definitely he was very fit, stretching, leaping and bounding with the other dogs. His chest almost came out, his stomach went in, his chest came out, just like the muscular people or just like the muscular animal. Earlier he was a lazy dog, he was a fat dog, a person who looks like a blotted sausages turned into a lithe, strong, muscular animal because of exercises and because of burning of his fat. And that is how he changed into a lithe, hard-muscled animal, and his chest was brushing the ground. This is what the narrator says in the end of the story. Now, always remember, these are the 5 questions that are very important as far as this lesson is concerned. In case if you have any question, you can ask me that question. I will also reply. But till then, have a nice day. चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिएगा, वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिएगा. Have a nice day and God bless you. Thank you.